This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey with CMG Financial and My Mortgage Team, and welcome back. It's Sunday evening.
Great to see you, Carey Ann.
So
and we have a guest with us tonight.
We do.
Mr. James Payne.
That's right. You can
Jim
call
Payne.
me Jim, Monty. You can call me Jim.
Do you ever go by James? It's always Jim.
I never do.
Never
have.
Okay, with a beard, you can't go with that beard like that. This is no
right.
shaved November going on.
November. I got an early start in October.
Okay.
But right.
But since the listeners can't see your beard, they can't really appreciate how handsome that beard is.
You are. You're very handsome.
I'm glad of that fact that they can't see me today.
There you go.
Any more gray, though? You look like Santa Claus.
It's gray, yeah.
That's what I'm
It's for the grandkids, yeah.
He's getting prepped.
He's got some of the sweetest grandkids in the world, Carey. I don't know if you've met him or not. They're just precious.
Yes, and you know what I love? I found out that his name is Pop, and Robin's name is Lolly for Lollipop. How cute is that?
Lollipop, how cute is that?
Isn't that cute? Yeah, I really like that part of it, yeah.
I think it's so cute. I would have named.
I
If my
like
Pop
Pop.
was around, it would have been a Lollipop too. I like that. That would
Carey
be
Ann,
good.
you're so far away from being a grandparent, but you want to start thinking about that name because a lot of women don't want to be called grandma is what I'm saying.
Well, it's so funny. I laugh because Aubrey, when they're learning to speak, she goes gamma, and my mom thought she said glamma, and so now my mother is a glamma, and she owns every ounce of that glamma, and she takes advantage of that name
Yeah,
all
that's
the
pretty
time.
cool, really.
The grandmothers spend a lot of time and thought into their name.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So get an early start.
Lots of time.
Well, I remember calling mine. It was Grammy Mac and Grammy Sear. Like that's just how it was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought that was
Not
cool.
anymore.
Not anymore. You got to
anymore.
be cool. The names, even naming your child today is, you got to
Oh,
step
my
it
gosh.
up.
The names. My grandpa name is Papa Moon.
Oh, there you go.
You know why?
I do know why.
We love you to the moon
I've
and
heard
back.
the story.
Or
Yeah.
no?
Well, go ahead, Monty.
Well, because I'm 6'6", and my head is totally proportionate with my body. When I was younger, it didn't look so proportionate, and so my friends called me Moonhead.
Oh, there we go.
Leave it to your friends, to name you.
Yeah.
Moonhead. So somehow along the way, my kids found out that my nickname as a kid was Moonhead. So naturally, I'm Papa Moon now.
There you go.
And I kind of like Papa Moon, not as much
like
as
it.
Lollipop. I think that's probably one of the best.
I like Pop. It's
Yeah.
it's a good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. Anyway, the reason we have Mr. Payne on here is because he's one of our fabulous realtors at Realty One Group Music City. And one of the reasons, Carey, I wanted Jim to come on with us is because he has done an incredible job in a short time. There's a big chunk of the real estate community out there has only been in the business for, less than 5 years out there. And Jim's included in that.
Yeah.
And yet he's leading our company of 80 agents in production this year.
Amazing.
It's pretty incredible. And I don't think it's the beard. What is it, Jim?
Yeah, I
Tell
don't
us
know.
the secret.
I wish
Tell us
there
the
was
secret,
one secret. There's really not one secret. I think it's just getting to know people, treating people well, talking to a lot of people, doing a lot of networking events, and just getting the word out there as much as possible, and getting on with the right company. I've only worked for Monty in a couple of different companies now, but the mentoring and the training has been excellent. And
I appreciate that, brother.
Couldn't have done it without you, for sure.
I appreciate that. You hit on a key word, I think, for those newer agents out there or those thinking about getting into real estate. I don't think there's a networking event that you're not a part
Right.
of, is there?
I go to a lot of things.
They start early and late there, don't they?
That's right. I don't do a lot at night anymore, but I do a lot of networking events during the day, a lot of training events. You just never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
So as many people as you can meet and talk to, you're just going to be better off.
And now your incredible wife, Robin, has joined you as a team.
She has joined me. She came out of the new home sales world
Right.
and is now a general agent with Realty One Group, Music City. And next year, it'll be a true team, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, well, she's such a true talent. She was in new home sales for how long? A while,
Probably
right?
10 to 12 years.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
She was really great.
That takes a whole level of patience.
She's the real salesman of the team, so it should be exciting to see what's going to happen.
I know she sold you on not working too hard for a little while.
Right, yeah. She did.
No, but what a great team this is going to be, and it takes a special relationship to work together as husband and wife. Connie and I prove that all the time,
right.
And I'm grateful for my wonderful wife. It's not an easy role to play when you can't turn it off, so it's cool that you guys, it's so awesome to see you guys be so active with your grandkids and start building a real estate team together.
Right.
She was one of Jones Company's lead salespeople. I think.
She was. She's worked for Beazer and Jones primarily and very successful and
right.
Going to use those talents and skills that she has in sales and in the new construction world to help me and us grow our business.
Well, you have to actually really take care of your customers in the new construction world. You have to hold their hand all the way through the process. I mean, it's ups and downs and lefts and rights and all over the place, right? And there's so much frustration that can happen. And she's so good with keeping everybody so calm. I've worked with her multiple times in many transactions. So she's just
I don't know how anybody my hat's off to anybody in new construction, because you're selling air and pictures and trying to manage that expectation of vision. Yeah. And one person says, "Oh, it comes with a roof also?" And the next person says, "I want it rebuilt because there's a scratch on the wall." It's incredible that dynamic process.
It's a long process, and you have to make about 1,000 decisions to build a new house.
Yeah.
And if you only make 999, you expect that 1,000th one to be correct, and it is a hand-holding process, and it's a long process these days, and very complicated at times.
Too many options, I think, is part of the problem.
Right.
Too many options. There's not just green and red anymore. It's 14 million different colors.
Well, I don't think the TV shows help much either.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, no, I want what I saw last Sunday in my house when I just did my order, the following week.
And that's what's tearing up our industry as a whole, I think, is that those unrealistic expectations. How many people have come into my office thinking that, well, it's just like I see on Property Brothers, they pick out, three different homes to show the person, and then they have to make a decision, right?
I wish it was that easy.
No, it doesn't quite work that way, does it?
It doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah. How many have you had a client that have seen multiple houses? Is there one that you've seen so many houses? Is it hit a record for you?
I haven't kept count. I probably should have. I have a client now. I've been showing houses for probably 2 years.
Really?
And they have a house to sell that we're going to sell eventually. It's not listed yet. They want to find their house before they sell theirs, which makes it a little more complicated. But I've shown them a lot of houses.
Wow, yeah. Now, your success, has that come from focusing on one part of Middle Tennessee or Tennessee in general, a certain specific county, a certain specific, neighborhood? How has your successes come about?
I focus primarily on Williamson County. I live in Franklin, and so probably 80% of my business has come from Williamson County, but I go down to Murray and Rutherford and Nashville, of course, and kind of all over the place.
One thing I've recognized about Jim, being a newer agent, he did what was ever necessary to help somebody with their real estate needs. He didn't get hung up on a particular percentage or a particular area or a particular price point or whatever. He recognized right off the bat, I think, the importance of momentum, that fickle friend called momentum.
Right.
It you can think you're there, and then it can leave you in a heartbeat if you don't keep giving it your attention all the time.
No, I'm 58 years old, so I've been doing this now for 4.5 years, like we said. So I feel like I kind of got into real estate later in life after coming out of the corporate world for many years. So I felt like when I got into real estate, I really needed to touch and work with as many families as I could in a relatively short period of time. So I definitely wasn't hung up on just the commission or what that commission was. I came out of the business world, and so if a deal made sense to me to do, I did it. And if it was an incremental deal on top of one I didn't have yesterday and I could get today, I would do it. And it really didn't matter the commission. Of course, I'm in it to make money and provide for my family, of course. But I definitely, didn't have the mindset of I've got to get 3% or 6% in order to work with this family. If it made sense and if I was going to treat them well and they're going to tell their friends and family about me, that was a win to me.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one time early on, I asked Jim to, since he lived closest to Dixon, I asked him to go to Dixon and list this and work this little house.
Yeah.
What was it, like 180,000, 160,000, something like that?
I think so.
It was, a lot of folks would have thought it's not worth the trip over there. And that little house generated, I forget how many millions of dollars worth of business. I know one thing it generated was a connection with a $2 million apartment complex, right?
That's right. Yeah. One little open house really led to, I added it up the other day. I think it was $5 million in sales in properties.
Wow.
And one of them was a $2 million transaction with an investor that I met at another open house in Franklin that I converted a for sale by owner, and I did it for 1%, which Monty thought I was crazy at the time too. But so, yeah, just doing as many transactions as I could, I think, is contributed to my success now.
That's
well, I'm really proud of you, brother, and I appreciate you coming on the radio show today. Because again, one of the things I wanted you to help convey to because there's so many newer agents out there, is to give some key elements to your success in that process.
Yeah. So for new agents, I would say tell as many people as you can, what you're doing, set a goal, and work hard. It's it can look easy, but it's a lot of work involved.
Right.
Well, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Jim Payne. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Are you someone who is looking to gain wealth through real estate? My name is Carey, and I'm with CMG Financial and my mortgage team. Whether you're looking to purchase your first home, a second home, or even an investment property, my team and I, we specialize in making the process of home ownership smooth as possible. With our vast variety of mortgage programs, our competitive interest rates, and our local support center, we have the ability to serve so many deserving families and help find just the right mortgage program to fit within your short and long-term financial goals. Mortgage loans is what we know, and approving them is what we do. We'd be honored to help you begin the process today. Check us out at yourtnlendingsolution.com. That's yourtnlendingsolution.com. Or give us a call, always a friendly voice, 615-456-4456. That's 456-4456. We look forward to helping you and beginning your mortgage application today.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Carey Ann, before we get started any further with Mr. Jim Payne, we've got to remind everybody that please send those questions about real estate or mortgages into questions@talkmusiccity.com. That's questions@talkmusiccity.com or hashtag talkmusiccity.
Yes, and this show is also a podcast, so you can listen at your leisure. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, and others. You can also watch us on YouTube or our favorite Facebook. Simply search The Talk of Music City.
Welcome back, Jim Payne.
It's good to be here, Monty.
Good to see you.
Surprised me with that one, yeah.
I love Jim Payne's glasses.
I do too.
Since we're the glass... The
Yes.
glass materials,
Boy, we all
like
have
the
them.
Musketeers, Three
Yes.
Musketeers. We all wearing glasses over here.
I like his round ones. He looks like a professor, especially now with the whiskey.
Did you ever always wear round glasses?
I only have had glasses for the past year. I wore contacts for 25 years or
yeah.
so, and I got these last December.
They
Yeah.
look more like a pop? Is that what that was about?
I don't know. I just wanted to see better.
But they're really, you got to dress your face too, and that looks really good on you.
Thank you very much.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Very hip, very fashion.
I had some help picking them out.
Yes,
so,
you probably with a daughter and a wife.
2 daughters and a wife.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
set.
gosh.
I know. I remember always dressing our dad too.
That's right.
Makes it fun for sure. Well, we're talking all about Jim Payne today and your growth and your success from 4 years coming from the corporate world to real estate, meeting Monty. Good things, huh?
All good. Very good. Yep.
So if you're sitting down right now with a newer real estate professional, just got their license, what would be your advice, Jim? What would be the top 3 things you would tell this new person to do?
I think find a broker that you're comfortable meeting with and talking to, and that is accessible. So the training aspect of that is really important, but the mentoring and just the ability to talk to somebody that's kind of been through the trenches and has the experience that can help you. Because I came out of the business world. I was in banking for a long time in finance, and so I had a background in kind of some of what we do, but not a lot. But everything is so different, and it's not that complicated, but you still need somebody that can kind of walk you through each situation, and I think that's really important.
You know, Jim and I don't know if you know this, Carey Ann, but Jim and I met at a BNI meeting.
Oh, really?
Yep. And we were probably, in that group together for, I don't know, a year or something like that. And the first time I I heard him talk about this effort, this fund. What is it actually? Describe what I'm talking.
I know where you're
what
going.
are you talking about on a talk show? Tell me, what are you talking about?
Draw a picture of something.
Draw a picture.
Yeah, no, I think what Monte is referring to, I'm involved with a ministry of inner city kids in Franklin called Franktown Open Hearts, and I was a past board president, volunteer of that organization. Wow. And it's a faith-based ministry that I still love. I'm not as involved as I once was, but me and my brother-in-law primarily started the Franktown Hunt and Fish Club.
Oh,
so we've taken, I don't even know, hundreds of kids through hunter safety class.
These are inner city kids who would never have an opportunity.
Never. We're arming the inner city of Franklin, but
right.
But not really. But we're teaching them how to be respectful with firearms and land and just conservation. So we assign one of the boys after they successfully pass the hunter safety class. We get them a guide, and they go out hunting, especially on the youth hunts, which was a couple of weeks ago. So had a bunch of boys out in the woods harvesting deer, and a very successful hunt and program. And some of the kids, we've done it for so long now that some of the kind of graduates came back and were actually guides for the younger boys.
Oh,
so that
that's
was
great.
Really cool to see.
When I heard he was doing that, a busy family man, and he was taking time with these inner city kids, I thought, there's a man with a good heart.
Yeah.
That was what impressed me the most. And when he started talking about thinking about getting into real estate, probably a year into our knowing each other, I thought, you've got the right spirit to start with. It's an inside deal, as you know, and it's only shown to be true with a success since then. How many homes have you sold already in the last 4.5 years?
I think it's about 150 homes.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Exciting.
First 4.5
so I think
years.
In realtor life, that's about 15 years worth. So
but get this,
it feels like it sometimes.
His first full year, though, he set, I think, a realtor record. Was it like 54 homes or something?
52 homes, yeah.
52,
first full year, sorry.
Only 52.
Hate to correct you.
Only 52.
52, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot
good
of
year.
real
That's
estate.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
a good year.
like you said, you just gave your heart to each family. You found a way to make each transaction work, right? To help as many people.
Yeah, and I like we were talking earlier, I'm not hung up on the commission. I look back, and if I had charged the full commission on each and every deal, I would have made about $400,000 more over those years than I made. So that's big money to me, $100,000 a year that I basically didn't charge. I earned, but I didn't charge.
Yeah.
And so, but I find that very rewarding as well. And those families, they don't refer you because of the discounted commission. They refer you to, based on the service that you provided. If you provided terrible service at a good price, you wouldn't get referrals.
Right.
So I think, even though I've, didn't charge the full commission in those deals, I've been rewarded, multiple times over because of people telling their friends and family and coworkers about me.
Jim made me a believer. One of his very first deals, I got on his case for saying, "You got to charge more than that because we're worth more than that," and we truly are.
Sure.
But times are changing, and the consumer doesn't care about what we say we're worth. Right. It cares about what they're dialed into their world, and if there's a need or a belief that they're not willing to pay that much, I still want to do everything I can do to protect them from an iBuyer. Let's not go down that road.
I did not bring my gloves today, Mom.
Yeah.
But seriously, to be able to to be affordable and to get that kind of service is awesome.
Right.
I think if you have a giving heart and want to find solutions with every transaction is so important. Some people I hear the deals fall apart over something so small, and I was like, well, I could put that back together. And, there's been multiple transactions where I took my commission and fully gave it back because it was the right thing to do. That family deserved that house, and that was the perfect house for that family, you know? And at the end of the day, the folks that are closing the most and the folks that are leading, the leadership boards there are the ones that do give a little, I've never been shy to give a few dollars at all to make it make sense for the customer. So helping as many families is our motto as well. Whatever we can do to assist is key.
Yeah. Now that we're, Monte has purchased the Realty One franchise, which is about a year ago. We've been with them for a year. And I'm getting 100% of my commission, and so I have a little more flexibility to give that back to families and keep deals alive. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. So that's great information. So as you were talking earlier, when you're initially starting out, you're talking to everybody and anybody, and they can live anywhere. I have a loan officer who was just talking with me last week, and he's driving 2 hours sometimes to get a transaction because that's where he is right now. That's what's in front of him and is available. When was the turning point for you where you start shifting maybe more of your, is there a strategic focus to stay local because you can help more because of the driving time, et cetera, or building a team, et cetera?
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the first year, I did a deal in Clarksville. I probably wouldn't go to Clarksville now at this point in my career. I would, depends on the situation. And that family has reached back out to me about selling again, so I may go back to Clarksville.
Sure.
But, so yeah, it seems like about my fourth year, So year before last, I got about 66% of my business was from past clients or past client referrals. So that's the goal. That's what we shoot for. So as you get into that kind of situation where you're more or less picking who you get to work with, they become closer, to Franklin for the most part. The more deals I've done in Franklin, the more referrals I get in Franklin. So that's
Carey, and one of the we'll get to this in a minute. I'll share this.
Yeah, let's take a short break, but when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We have Jim Payne in the studio with us. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Hi, my name is Monte Mohr. I'm the broker-owner of Realty One Group Music City. I've been an active real estate broker for over 35 years now, personally selling thousands of homes. That's why I recently opened Tennessee's first Realty One Group office. As a real estate professional, would you like having it all? Cutting-edge technology, full support, world-class training, same-day commission deposits, all for free? How about strong collaborative culture, national brand recognition, new high exposure, easy access office, and a non-competing broker committed to your success 7 days a week? Now let's top that off with all experienced agents receiving 100% of their commission from day one. I know, where's the catch, right? There is no catch. Call us today and schedule a confidential meeting and learn why Realty One Group is the fastest growing real estate franchise in the nation. Call 636-8244. That's 615-636-8244. Or go to topagentsuccess.com. That's topagentsuccess.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Monte Mohr here, Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Thanks, Jim Payne, for being here with us tonight.
It's great to be here.
It is so awesome to talk to such a man of success in so many levels. And again, where it matters most is in your family. Your family is so awesome.
Yes.
Is your wonderful wife, wonderful kids, wonderful grandkids. You're just a blessed man.
I'm very blessed in many, many ways.
You really are, brother. Hey, what I wanted to say just before we left the last spot there is what I've learned, if I could share something, just a moment with the newer agent out there, is I would suggest they change maybe their paradigm thinking. I've learned this from you, Jim, is that a realtor's number one job isn't to be out there selling homes. A realtor's number one job, I believe, is helping people know, like, and trust them and become top of mind. I mean, it's not about selling a home. It's about honoring somebody's experience with you as a professional and answering questions or being there for them in time of need, whether there's a commission involved or not. I had to represent those words today. I had somebody call me up and say, I'm taking my house off the market. And I said, Steve, why are you doing that? Well, I'm going to drop the price $30,000 and I'm going to list it with another agent tomorrow. And I said, why would you do that? why don't, because we had it scheduled to one of our agents was going to look at it tonight. I said, don't do that. I said, take me out of the picture. I don't want anything, but let this agent show it, because it doesn't make sense to drop at 30. Anyway, it's just, but you have to take it for that approach that it's not about me. It's about doing what's right for the consumer. And I know you two walk that out all the time.
Right. Yeah. If you do the right thing, you'll be rewarded.
Yep. Amen. So let's talk about, I know one of your favorite neighborhoods. You live in Westhaven in Franklin.
I do.
And that is an incredible neighborhood. I remember back in 2010, 11, when the market was so bad, you could go into Westhaven and it was like a different planet. Things were still hopping. It's like It had its own economy.
Yes, it did.
Let's talk about Westhaven.
Yeah, it's like a little city in itself in many ways, but it is unique. It looks different. It kind of feels different in a lot of ways. If you haven't seen it, it looks kind of like a traditional downtown area. The houses have front porches. The driveways are in the back off of an alley, so it has a different feel. When you come in, you don't see just garages or cars parked in driveways. And it just looks different. It's got a lot of parks. It also has a school in the neighborhood, and it has a commercial area as well. So it has a grocery store, a couple of different restaurants.
So somebody living in Westhaven could probably just get by most of the time on a golf cart or something.
There's lots of golf carts, yeah. There even the doctor's office is right there, the dentist, eye doctor, lots of services, golf course, of course, and swimming pool. It has a resort pool. It has an adult pool. My grandkids love to come to the pool. It's like going to to Disney World in a way. It's got the slides and the water fountains and all that stuff. To look
at an aerial view of that pool area, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So what else specifically attracted you to Westhaven when you made that decision?
Yeah, when we moved back to Middle Tennessee, we kind of grew up here and then moved back. We looked at a lot of places, but kind of the look of it is what initially drew us to Westhaven. But once we got to know more about it, we thought, well, that would be just a great investment. And I think that's been the case. We bought back in 2008 when things weren't that great, and the prices did go down a little bit, but not like the rest of the market, and then it bounced back, pretty strongly. And the thing is, there's about 1,300 houses right now in the neighborhood, and there's going to be at least double that. So it's still growing and building.
Wow,
so lots of new construction still around.
Big
I
neighborhood.
had no idea it could expand that much.
That's crazy, yeah.
Well, it's kind of a little bit on the outskirts, right?
Yeah, it's about 3 miles. Yeah, 3 miles west of downtown Franklin, just out close to Gentry Farms, if you know where that is. If you've ever picked pumpkins over there at Gentry Farms before. So yeah, it's a great community. They do a lot of things too. They do a lot of things for the community. This past October, they had Porch Fest, which they turned the whole neighborhood into a music venue.
Holy cow!
They set up about 50 different acts on front porches, and they have a big show down by the lake as a big finale. And it's open to the public, food trucks.
No kidding.
Thousands and thousands
That's
of people.
exciting.
They shut the streets down and people walking around.
They shut the streets down. Even the golf carts have to get off the street. So yeah, but a lot of fun, a lot of good music. It used to be in June, and they finally figured out it's just pretty hot in June in Middle Tennessee. So they moved it to October and had a beautiful weekend this year.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's great. There's a lot of other things. I think I've gone to the hot air balloon.
They do a hot air balloon festival out by the lake, kind of a music light show.
Yeah.
Very pretty. And
yeah.
And if you can imagine Halloween in Westhaven, it's
that's a lot of candy.
It's a lot of candy. People that live on the main square, they give thousands and thousands of pieces of candy away. I think people come in by the busload. It's crazy.
I bet they do.
But they have. The weekend before Halloween, they turn one of the big parks into a haunted house kind of thing. And,
cool.
And so very, very active community.
And is it all age groups? all
It is,
from
yeah.
families,
They have
young families on?
A lot of different age groups and a lot of families that are kind of multi-generational. The parents might live in a condo, and the younger family has a single family house.
Okay.
So you see a lot of that. You see a lot of people moving up and down in the neighborhood. As their family gets bigger, they buy a bigger house, and they just don't leave Westhaven. I had one client this year who used to live in Westhaven, thought they could get a little more house for their money. They moved over to the kind of other side of Franklin, and then they decided they couldn't live without Westhaven, so they came back.
Yeah. So you were saying, so there's different types of homes in Westhaven. So condos, townhomes, singles.
There are. Yeah, there's like flat condos,
Okay.
so one level. Those buildings have an elevator, so great for the grandparents. And,
yeah.
And then there's 2-story townhomes, and then single-family homes. I think the prices range from the high 400s to well over $1 million.
So it must really be gratifying to help somebody move into your own neighborhood when you believe in it that much.
It is fun. I've helped neighbors move, downsize, and move out. I've had people, one family, their parents lived in a condo, and they had to go for health reasons out of the neighborhood. So I helped them sell their house, and so very rewarding to help my neighbors sell their house.
So do you have any specials going on for your neighborhood right now, Jim?
I do.
If somebody lived in Westhaven right now and wanted to move, what would you do for them?
Yeah, so I do something for my neighbors. I will list their house for only $950.
Wow!
If they use me to buy their next place, and it doesn't have to be in Westhaven, but in around Middle Tennessee would be great.
That's quite a special.
It saves people a lot of money.
That would be a lot of money. Holy cow!
Yeah,
I wish I lived in Westhaven. I could maybe have you sell mine.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, you referenced there's a golf course. Is that separate from the community? Can I, use the golf course, or have to live there to use the golf course? How does that work?
Yeah, the golf course is a private entity, so you have to join the golf course. So that's separate than the HOA. The pool and the tennis courts and the theater and the clubhouse, all that is included in the HOA, but the golf course is separate.
Mm-hmm.
But you can join it as a social member. You get a few rounds of golf and have access to the restaurant, or you can be a full-blown golf member and enjoy the golf course and the restaurant.
Yeah, and it's so close to Franklin. It's so easy to get to downtown.
3 miles to downtown Franklin, and Mac Hatcher is underway. So right now we're at dead ends in the Hillsborough Road. It's going to come around all the way to 96.
Oh, I've been curious on what's happening there.
Well, whereabouts that going to come out? Just about.
Yeah, just east of the neighborhood. So in between Westhaven and downtown Franklin. So it really borders the east side of the neighborhood.
Oh.
So that will be a great thing. It's been on the works for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's not going to be finished until 2021, but it's going to make getting to the interstate and to other parts of town much easier. Yeah. So
I lived in Franklin Green for my first house when I first,
not too far.
right behind Westhaven, and that was one of the things, is getting through that school.
Right.
So that would be huge, passing that, because when I went to work was the time that I was early, so as with
you
the
have
school
to think
traffic.
about when school is in session and what time they start, because it does back up on 96.
Yeah,
quite a
well,
bit.
they've done a nice job there on 96 with all this beautiful public parks over there too. So Franklin's doing a great job, improving that whole area.
I bet we're going to see values increase when that road's finished.
That's the only negative feedback I ever get about Westhaven is it's just hard to get to from the interstate. And when that is in place, I think it will help things quite a bit.
I would have to agree. That's the only negative I've ever seen about that area.
Yeah.
But there's so much more possible.
Well, it sounds like, I need to bring my little one over.
Sounds like you're the
you
mayor.
need to babysit there, Jim.
Sounds like you're the mayor of
on the summertime.
I can't leave my grandkids, my especially my grandsons. They would be very upset if we left West.
I know, Pop, you can't leave there.
Can't leave. Yeah.
The pool. I love it. That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Grocery stores, restaurants.
Very convenient and a great investment as well. I think there's over 60 real estate agents that live in the neighborhood. So to me, that's a testament.
Good sign, for sure.
It's a real good sign.
That it's a good investment.
Yeah. They know something about what's going on. Well, this has been such a great conversation about Westhaven. I learned a lot today. So thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Let's continue this conversation. We're going to take a short break. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the talk of Music City real estate.
Where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
This is Monte Mohr with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and this is Carey with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
And we're having lots of fun tonight with the pop of the Lollipop Gang.
A gang. We're a gang.
Lollipop Gang.
Lollipop.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Remember that song?
We do.
So
We
fun.
do.
I brought you back to a certain era.
It is good to have you here, Jim. So let's talk about real estate, since this is a real estate show. What are your thoughts about the market in Middle Tennessee?
The market is still good.
From your perspective as a
Sure.
out there every day?
Yeah, so I'm out there every day listing properties and taking buyers around. I have a big day tomorrow showing properties all around Williamson County. But so houses are maybe sitting on the market a little bit longer than they did 2 years ago. But to me, it's kind of back to a normal market. If things are priced right, they sell. And if they're priced too high, they sit for a little bit. So, but lots of buyers and lots of houses out there for sale. So I think the market's good. I think next year's good. Rates are good. Having a good lender like CMG makes a difference for me. I know I've closed a few deals with Carey and Sean's help this year that may not have closed otherwise. So I appreciate them and the job they do, and I know my clients do as well. But
Makes a difference to have somebody in your corner that's on the finance part, doesn't it?
it makes a difference having someone local that you can pick up the phone and know they're going to answer the phone and treat your clients well. Because I refer my clients to a lot of different vendors, and that referral, if I'm putting my name behind it just like they do, it means a lot. So when I refer someone to a company like CMG, I expect them to be treated well, and they certainly are.
Well, thank you so much. We always believe in never taking the first no as our final answer. We're not going to give up, that's for sure. If they're a deserving client, we're going to try to find a way and fight to the end to make that happen. So we're just so grateful and thankful for that opportunity to work with your customers. We've helped first-time home buyers from veterans to folks that are buying investment properties. That's one great thing about our local area. There's multiple houses for everybody. I mean, there's just awesome real estate here.
Carey, you have surrounded yourself with some incredible people. I mean, he just mentioned Sean.
Yeah.
Sean's an incredible guy. You've got some amazing people.
We've been working together now 12 years, so we're like brother and sister at this point. Yeah. And I think that was one thing I learned from a coach a long, long time ago. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And if I was going to build a team, I needed folks that would complement me, that would believe in the same things that I believed in. And Sean and I have done a really good job with following through with that and helping
He's
as many
incredible.
families.
One of the last transactions I did with you guys, the client said at the closing table that their favorite person in the whole transaction wasn't me. It wasn't you. It was Sean.
Yeah.
Which Sean is, of course, your right-hand person. But,
Yeah.
So it might as well have been you. I wasn't even voted in there.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah. He's a father too. It's funny because we've now kind of got married. We've been at each other's weddings. We've seen the little ones get born, and Aubrey's clothes go down to his little girl. So it's as we age in this industry, we just see that it's interesting. The mortgage business doesn't really change. It's the same stories, but everybody's story is kind of similar but different. But we're able to just help so many people, and the guidelines change so often. But it's finding people that just really are driven and believe the same things, that want to learn and stay, ahead of the game, and just really, work hard to try to help as many people as we can. So Sean's a good one. We'll keep him close.
And it's good to know from our perspective when you refer a client to someone like Sean and yourself, you really don't have to worry about it. You don't hear of every small problem maybe that came up. I just know Sean's going to handle it, and he doesn't. And I don't want to know every detail. I just want to know we're going to close on time, and we do.
Yeah,
we do.
And I was talking to an agent the other day, and you just don't realize some of the things that are going to pop up. I mean, you can't even make up some of this stuff, and you're like, well, okay, what are we going to do now, and how do we work through that problem to create a solution where I would think some of the other lenders, maybe the bigger banks, they wouldn't know to think outside the box, right? They're just in one box. Right. So it is great. We train on a regular basis to try to continue to be ready and prepared to be thinking outside the box. So we just appreciate you and grateful for the opportunities that you have provided over these years. Because I think we've been working together now for the 4 years.
The whole time. Yeah,
for sure.
It's been a great partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've been listing enough homes in your career, Jim, to know this, if you had 4 offers on the table because you had multiple offer situation, and there was one particular lender that was being used by one of those buyers, would they have an advantage?
They do for sure, whether somebody's using a big national bank or an internet kind of based bank that doesn't even have a facility. It makes a huge difference when I'm advising my sellers when we're looking at multiple offers, who that lender is and who the other agent is. A lot of factors go into play. And on the kind of the flip side of that, when I'm in that situation trying to buy a house with multiple offers, and I send that letter from CMG and I call Sean and say, hey, can you call this listing agent and talk about my client? And he does a great job doing that as well. And that makes a difference. I know we won one multiple offer situation like that this year. It was a VA loan actually, and the other agent maybe wasn't familiar with VA or just wasn't really excited about doing a VA transaction, and Sean called her and assured her that, hey, one, it's going to close on time, and the buyers were good, and we've done a deal with them in the past, and that helped us get the deal done.
Well, being able to hear the confidence in someone's voice goes, such a long way for sure.
Deal.
So, and that's exactly what what I've trained my team members to be is confident in anything that you say. And one of my core beliefs is being a woman of her word, and that means the team has to be, true to their word as well. So, I'm happy to hear all the compliments on that. So
Jim, I don't know if you know how much you had a bearing on us deciding to buy the Realty One Group franchise.
Wow, tell us.
So, and this is a good thing, honestly, because I love this man. I sincerely do.
Yeah.
He's like a brother. He's just a good man. And, we were on a business model before that was a 70-30 split until it got to a certain level of 100,000 income. And then January 1st, it would reset to the 70-30. And Jim had got to that point pretty early in the year. And the thought of going back to that, even though we were good friends and we respect one another, and he knew that I had some role in helping him succeed, it was still going to have to become a business decision of him considering, do I stay in a 70-30 environment, or do I look out more for my own bottom line, my own business mind, my own family, and do something else? And I know I don't think he made that decision, but it was on the table. What do we do here? Because think about finally achieving that. I mean, we talk about some of the real estate companies that have a cap, and that's cool, especially if you have that cap most of the year. But typically, people cap out about September, October, and then they have 2 months of 100%. And the thought of, okay, I need to face reality here, because though we have a great relationship, at the end of the day, every real estate professional has to make a decision that's best for them and their family, and I felt that coming.
Yeah, we never really had to have that conversation, but yeah, it was definitely something that I was thinking about, and would not have wanted to have that conversation with you. But
neither. Yeah,
I've had other in the networking events, I've had other people reach out to me about going somewhere else, and I'd never really given it any thought. But
thank you.
I don't plan on it. So.
We love you and appreciate you, man.
So, Jim, those folks that are living in Westhaven that may be listening here, if they want to take advantage of your 950 sale incentive, how do they reach you? What website?
Jim sells Westhaven for 950.com.
Perfect. Jim sells Westhaven at 950.com.
For 950.
For 950.com. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening and tuning in. We're going to be back here next Sunday, 5 p.m. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.